Wojiao, Naima Latif. And yes, you are still in America, and we are here at the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair. And I am so pleased to have one of the outstanding authors that brings the world to Chicago. His book, Mandarin, The Culture, A Cultural Passport from the Shy to Shanghai. And this is Rasan Liddell. And you've seen him on that fabulous show, Gathering of the Griots with Asada. And we're here at the great awaited show, the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair. And we have an opportunity to once again meet this fabulous author. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, yes. I'm trying to remember how to say thank you in Chinese. 谢谢.
Yeah, 对.
Now, of course, we teach you all how to say thank you in 16 different languages every day when you watch the show. So make sure you watch the ending because we're seeking to make multilingual people. So tell us how you came to write this book. What is your history as obviously someone who's traveled outside of Chicago? How did you happen to produce this book?
Okay. Well, again, thank you for having me on. This book came to fruition based upon something that I noticed and realized as it relates to language learning materials. And one of the things that I noticed is that most of the language learning materials, they don't reflect African American characters in those books. I haven't noticed them utilize African American speech patterns. And so, it occurred to me that if you're trying to study a foreign language, but even the presentation is foreign to you, there's a tendency for those individuals to disengage or have little to no interest at all. So what I did was I made sure that our book incorporated not only African American characters, but it also features a bit of African American vernacular English, and it has characters that are African American, and this is an attempt to allow for the reader to see themselves not only in the book but also in the culture. So that was the motivating factor. That was the impetus behind. That's the why behind Mandarin for the culture, because it is for our culture.
I'm glad you said it about the vernacular, because when we travel abroad, a lot of times people have studied a form of English that really is no longer spoken. It's not the regular vernacular of English. And everywhere you go in the United States, there's a different dialect. So one of the things that I think people who are studying any language needs to know is the dialect of the people. How did you decide how to find the common dialects that the people in China speak? Or are there different dialects of Chinese the way there are different dialects of English?
Absolutely. So the way it works is that in China, they have about 36 different provinces. And a province is equivalent to a state. So we have 50 states. China has about 36 provinces. And interestingly enough, for the most part, each province has their own, as you described, dialect. Oops. Hey, I'm still here, y'all.
Still here?
They all have their own dialect. So what happens is that in China, most students, they will go to school to learn a common dialect so that they will be able to communicate with one another throughout the country. And that is what we will refer to as, it's Putonghua. They refer to it as, So Putonghua, that means common language, common tongue. In English, Putonghua is Mandarin. So my meaning is that most Chinese students, citizens, they will go to school to learn Putonghua, or the common tongue, so that they could Mandarin. So my meaning is that most Chinese students, citizens, they will go to school to learn Putonghua, or the common tongue, so that they communicate between each of their provinces, between each of their differing dialects. And so my book, the language, the dialect that I use is the Putonghua. And that way, it won't matter which province one of our learners goes to, they will not only be able to speak in a way that they're understood, but most importantly, as it relates to the confidence, they'll be confident in knowing that they understand what is being communicated to them. So my book is written using Putonghua. My book also has Chinese characters, and it also uses the pinyin system, which is a way to make it it simplifies the characters, because truth be told, if you see a Chinese character, you really don't have any idea how to pronounce that character. So the pinyin, I've included pinyin in the book, and it helps you to understand how to say each of the characters.
This is particularly fascinating to us because, last well, a couple of semesters ago, my associate, our dear host, co-host, Zelda, and we were working at one of the local schools, Betty Shabazz International Charter School, and they believe in being international. They taught human languages, so we were teaching podcast training, and we did a session with children in China because my niece teaches school in China.
Okay.
So we had the students speaking to each other. They because they're learning English.
Yes.
And we were able to teach them a few Chinese words so they could interact. And we talked about having a trip where we did some kind of school exchange where the students from here went there.
Yes.
Because we really do want to broaden the scope of American students, and especially we want the students in our community to have a world view, and being able to go and speak to their peers in their language and their peers learning their language, their dialect, and everything else. I think that would be so powerful for the future and the way the human family interacts. So how do you foresee having this book widely circulated, maybe in schools, maybe making the connection so that we can plan trips to Asia and interact with people from China, understanding the culture? How do you see that as affecting perhaps relations in the future with this generation as they move into adulthood?
Sure. Well, it'll make a big difference, because what this book and what I'm doing in general. So if I could just for a moment, in addition to writing the book, I'm also the executive director and the founder of Global Pathways Education and Publishing. And we have a Mandarin and culture studio right on the south side of Chicago, over here in the Beverly community. And and what we do is we offer, not only do we offer language learning, but we also offer cultural exchange. We try to integrate into our programming as much about Chinese culture as possible. So not only are the students learning the language, but they're confident and they build their confidence in terms of being a global citizen. Not only can I speak the language, but I can go to this country and I understand the customs and I can understand the language and I can navigate this space and be able to realize my full self. So in answer to your question, the book is meant to encourage our students to see themselves as global citizens. It's an introductory book. It's for someone who's never spoken a word of Mandarin before, to it's already ready for schools that offer a Mandarin language program. But right now what we're pushing it for is not only for in-home study, for daycare centers, and ultimately, sure, we'd love to have it distributed throughout the entire country. It is the only African-American written book that features African-American authors and geared towards African-Americans, African-American graphic artists. And it's designed to pique the interest of our children when they're young so that it becomes a part of them. I just was at Chicago Public Schools. They just hosted a multilingual forum on African American students and how we can get language programs at the elementary school level for African American students. And so I spoke at the panel, and my position on this is that it's, to put it plainly, at one time and even today, it almost seems a little exotic, if you will, if you can, speak a second language.
Oh, yes.
It seems kind of exotic. We need to step away from that. It needs to become essential.
Yes.
It needs to become essential, particularly for the African American community. I don't have to tell you, you go to any other country that's speaking 2 or 3 languages, and here we're almost refuting that. It's a waste of time. We don't see it. So there are opportunities that exist, and that's why I started Global Pathways. When I came back from teaching in China for nearly 10 years, I noticed that there was a gap between global opportunities and the people who have access to them. Okay, so part of the reason behind this book and the studio is to close that gap, to get our children exposed to it, so they'll be ready to be ready for the what's coming, which is actually already here.
It's already here. I'm gonna have to hook you up with Betty Shabazz. We're gonna work out this China trip.
Yes.
Me and my sister Zelda, we're gonna go back there and prepare them.
Yes.
And really, I would love to just spearhead the whole spreading of the concept that parents need to have this in their homes.
You said it.
Because we have to be multilingual. Everybody else's children learns multiple languages. And I'm grateful. My daughter, she went to Betty Shabazz International Charter School, and she has traveled abroad. She speaks 4 languages. I'm bragging on her now because, she speaks 4 languages, y'all. She's been in about 30 different countries, but she's a global citizen, and that's what we have to have all of our children. Get out the hood. Go to the world. We are global people, and we can master any language.
To add to what you were saying, parents, when you have a book like this in your home, it signals to your child that this is important.
Yes.
And that's where they learn what's important from. They learn it at home first. What you do, what you promote, is what they will in turn also believe to be important.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you said it.
And learn some words. Look, we have an active Chinatown here in Chicago.
Yes, we
it's
do.
No reason for us not to know the languages of the people that are living right in this city. So what you're doing is powerful, and it's going to transform this world. And this is what we talk about every single day. We are a global family, and it's time for us to meet the rest of our family and be able to speak to them in their language.
Those are our people.
They're all our people.
And there's a precedent for it too.
Yes.
One of the reasons that I started, if I can share a little bit about my origin story, if we have a moment.
Absolutely. We got a moment.
So how I actually became so interested in China. It started during my undergrad. I studied undergrad here. I'm a native Chicagoan. I attended Lindblom. Swoop. Swoop, swoop. I attended Don't play with my Lindblom. So I attended Lindblom High School, and then I went to Loyola University. So I'm native Chicagoan.
Oh, I went to Loyola. All right now.
Okay. So during my undergraduate years, I took a course in African American Studies, and in that course, we discussed the Civil Rights Movement. And it was there that I was able to make the connection. I, realized that the Civil Rights Movement wasn't exclusive to what was going on in the United States. This is more international. Okay. Civil Rights Movement is about what? Justice. Civil Rights Movement is about what? Equality, right? And so these were universal issues, right?
Yes, they are.
So that was the first seed that was planted in terms of being, learning more about the world. Later, I was taking a course in marketing. I was a marketing business major, taking a course in marketing. And in our course, we were talking, it was international business. And we were talking about China's growing economic
Ah.
development. It was developing as a nation. So, this was something that stuck in my mind when I was an undergrad. And jokingly, I said to myself, you know what? Look here, man. All you got to do is sell, and you're a billionaire. so,
Ooh.
so I said that in jest, but it was just something that stuck in my mind.
Yes,
Wow,
yes,
emerging market. This is something. So fast forward, I was working. I had been working for a while, but that job kind of the position was eliminated. So I was at a crossroad, and the opportunity presented itself to me to travel to China for 6 months.
Ooh.
Yeah, just to teach the language. So I took a chance on that and went over, and 6 months led to almost 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, almost 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my. Well, that is amazing. Well, I believe that your story will erase a lot of fears that people have, especially in the area of any Asian country that we have been kind of overwhelmed by. And it's not necessary. You can learn any language. You can come to understand any culture, and you can appreciate every history. Like you said, everybody has had to go through a struggle for equality, and all of us need to develop appreciation for the history of other people so that we know it's not just us that had to fight for rights and freedom and all that. It's everywhere. Everybody has had to do this. So we can stop being afraid, and we can get to know our brothers and sisters over there in China. So come on down to the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair. Get this book, and you'll meet so many very powerful authors, and you need to add this to your life. But thank you so very much. We appreciate you. We'll let you get back to your table so you
Okay.
can make that money.
Zaijian.
ah,
Goodbye.
okay. Zaijian. Okay, I got another one.